Saints Rams betting preview. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this one's tough. All right, this is like one of those games where there's so much variance that hard to find a winner, because you know the what you want to try and do is you want to try and find patterns, see how teams play, and try and hone in on what you know to be true, and then find the weaknesses in the market and go from there. Well, the issue with this game is that let's just talk about the variance. So you have Tyler Shough. Okay, we have no clue how the Saints are going to run their offense with Tyler Shough. We also don't really know who Tyler Shough is going to throw to. Like, who is his go-to guy? We know Spencer Rattler only really looked at Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, and Juwan Johnson. Well, is Tyler Shough the same, or does he favor Rashid Shaheed? Does he look first to Chris Olave? Does he look first to dump it off? So there's a lot of questions about how they're going to run this thing. Then you have Alvin Kamara and Devin Neal, right? You have the whole running back room. How's that going to look? Because last week there was no volume anywhere. Is this a week where the Saints say, all right, we have a rookie quarterback out there. Let's not try and get him killed. Let's try and focus on the volume of the running game. I don't know. And then you have the line itself. The line itself is opened at 12.5. The news comes out there. It moved to 13.5 off the opener. And then the news came out with Shough and moved to 14.5, got bought back to 14, and now is sitting flat at 14 everywhere. A little bit shaded at Circa and DK. Could be 14.5 by kickoff. And then the betting splits is going to be just 80% of tickets are on the Rams, 75% of money's on the Rams. So real quick on the side, anything under 14, I think you play the Rams. I don't think you're going to see any of that. And then anything over 14, I think you play the Saints just on principle, right? It's just, hey, it's a 2-touchdown plus dog in the NFL. Okay, but this is as bad of a matchup for the Saints as you could possibly ask for. On the road in LA against a Rams team who's off a bye. The Rams want to run the football. If they don't run the football, they have an insane passing attack. The Saints have been weak against the run and the pass at different times this season. I would say mostly weak against the pass, but the Rams are a run-first team. They're going to try and run Kyren Williams as much as possible. But if for some reason the Saints do stop him, then all of a sudden you got to try and stop Matt Stafford, Puka Nacua, and Devontae Adams. On the flip side, the Saints will be down in the game. The game script will call for a lot of passing. The Rams know that, and you have rookie Tyler Shough starting against a ferocious pass defense, or a ferocious pass rush with Jared Verse as the star of that show. So let's try and see if we can find something here. If we take a look at this, like I said, 14 and a halves. It's not going to go to 13 and a half, but if you want to, if you got the guts, you take 14 and a half, you take over 2 touchdowns whenever you can get it in the NFL, as far as I'm concerned. First person let's look at is Kyren Williams. So Kyren Williams, how high can they put his rush attempts? How high can they make that number? Let's see here. Rush attempts. Kyren is at 16 and a half, 17 and a half some places. I mean, that's the first place you got to look, is do they just give him the ball? Now, with this game, you are going to be in a situation where you have there's a lot of unknown as far as like how long starters will play. If LA gets out ahead enough, Kyren Williams might not play the entire fourth quarter. So then do you say, well, maybe I attack it with Blake Corum, because he'll get some work anyways. But then if this is a game where, Kyren, they save his legs and all of a sudden Corum gets a majority of the work late in the game, maybe you get after it with Corum, who's 7.5. But that's how I would attack it on the ground. There's no value really anywhere else to do that. I would probably rather take Blake Corum than Kyren, just because you protect yourself with the late game stuff. If you think this is going to be a blowout, let's just see what Blake Corum's been doing. So Corum's right there in a blowout win against Jacksonville in London. He got 12 for 37 against Baltimore in a 17-3 game, 5 for 23. 9 carries against Indy in a close game, 8 carries against Philly in a relatively close game, 5 for 44 against Tennessee. So yeah, I think just looking at this, I think you probably have a better chance. Or not a better chance, I guess, but a little easier to get there, a little less variance, I guess you could say, with Corum. With Kyren, he's only got this. Well, he's got this 3 times. Well, if you get a 16, let's just call it 16.5. If you get a 16.5, he's got it 3 times. But they've also been the first 3 games of the season, so he hasn't got it since week 3. That's a big jump from the last couple of weeks. I mean, 12, 13, 14, 13. You're asking for an additional 5 carries. So if you think it's going to be a blowout and you think the Rams just run the football, especially in the second half, I think Blake Corum is probably how you would look. As far as Puka is coming off of an injury. He's at 7.5 receptions, super juiced, -152, -158, -140 at MGM is the best, best look. Well, Bet Rivers is -132. 8.5s are popping up. He's coming off of an injury, but he said he feels totally fine. He said he feels great. This is one of those things where if the Rams are up, why the hell is he getting 10 catches? But on the same token, Puka Nacua kind of gets 10 catches just on accident. So I don't think I would play this. I would not play this, but if I knew the game script, obviously it would change things. If this is tight, if this is within the number, he probably gets it. If this is 35-9, he probably doesn't get it. But coming off of an injury, also, it's like, well, why would they really push him? If the game's out of reach, he's not going to be asked to do too much. They will try and give him the ball early. I think just to get him back in the swing of things. Use this as a ramp-up game, but, All right, so if we look now and then Stafford, hard to find value in the Stafford stuff. Again, like how much is he asked to throw? How much is he going to be out there? So let's turn to the Saints side of things. First up, Alvin Kamara. So Alvin Kamara ended up with 6 carries last game. Let's take a look. Now, again, you don't know what the scheme is going to be with a quarterback change. But last week, he had 6 carries for 21. His last couple of weeks, 8, 10, 11, and 6. Okay, his rush attempts aren't up yet, but his rushing yards are at 37.5, looks like the best at FanDuel. Receptions are 2.5. Maybe this is where you do it. Maybe this is the game where you play Alvin's over 2.5 because you think, well, Shough may be willing to check it down more to the running backs. Maybe that's just more of his style. And you're kind of risking it for the biscuit here where Alvin's getting this anyways, or he's at least around the number anyways. He had 2 catches last week. He had 3 catches the week before, 5 the week before, 4. So he's gone over this 4 the last 5 weeks. So you like to see that. So with Shough coming in, the pass rush, Shough is going to have to get rid of the ball quick. Maybe that turns into Alvin Kamara dumps. So Alvin 2.5. 2.5 -125 at DraftKings looks pretty good. That could be, and don't let that 3.5 plus 200 at Fanatics fool you. I guarantee you'll get limited to $10 there. So Alvin receptions 2.5 does seem relatively low given the situation, given the spot, the script, how this is all going to play out. So I like that quite a bit actually. Okay, now let's look at Chris Olave. Chris Olave is at 5.5. They have to throw, but you just don't know who he's going to throw to. Chris Olave is kind of force-fed passes, though, in this offense. It is very much just Olave, Shaheed, and Jawan. They're going to have to throw the ball, and they're going to have to throw the ball quick. So maybe you just go Olave and Shaheed overs on both of them, hope to hit one, right? Or expect to hit one, but hope to hit both. 4.5 and 5.5. You could go longest reception on Shaheed. Shough is going to take shots. It looks like he's going to take those shots to Shaheed. He missed one against the Buccaneers, but at least he took it. If he really is going to be a guy who comes in and pushes the ball downfield, 18.5 to Shaheed's probably not a bad look there. Maybe that's your angle. Let's look at Shough. Where is he at? All right, now pass attempts is something I kind of like. the Saints throw the football a ton in general, especially in a game like this where they're going to be down a lot. I also think you remove the blowout factor. They're not going to bench Tyler Shough. If it's 35-0, he's going to be in there throwing. So it actually works. It kind of is. It's not usually like this, but Kellen is going to be willing to let Tyler Shough kind of feel his way through this game. So if it's ugly at the back half of the game, fourth quarter, and they got backups in and the game is over, I think Kellen will be tossing it around just to get Tyler Shough those reps. And he could use the fourth quarter, third quarter as like another preseason game, another training camp where he's just like, get out there, feel it, experience it, let it rip. So 34.5 at -110 in MGM. I think you go ahead. I think that's a play. Hard to imagine unless they just have tremendous success on the ground, which again, hard to imagine. But he threw it 30 times against Tampa Bay. So I think there's a willingness to let him get out there and throw it. You add in the fact that he's going to have to throw it really quick. It just kind of makes it to where they already play fast. The Saints play at a super fast pace. I think they're the fastest team in the NFL as far as like how fast they are running plays. So you're going to get a super high level of plays or a high number of plays already. But now that they have to throw so quick and go with so much tempo, that number is going to be nuts. So I love the over here. And then, of course, the more pass attempts you get, the more chances at receptions for Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed and Alvin Kamara. So all those kind of work in conjunction. But I like that. Just for poops, let's see what it is. Man, 5 rush attempts. That's a lot. I would stay away from that because we just don't know what it's going to look like. But I do like the pass attempts. I do like that. Is there anybody else? Let's see what Jawan's at. Jawan is at 3.5. I would wait and see. I would wait and see how Shough looks. If it looks like he's just throwing outside to the wide receivers, pushing the ball, quick stuff, or dumping it to Alvin, I'd stay away from Jawan for now until we see a little bit more of like what Shough wants to do. But I feel pretty good about the props. Now that we've kind of talked through and seen it, I feel pretty good about those props. I feel pretty good about, just what we're seeing there. I also just have to play this damn Devon Vele touchdown now. I play it every week just because now I can't stop playing it. But so more than likely, I'll be on Devon Vele anytime touchdown at 22-1. So the day Devon Vele catches his first touchdown is going to be a great day for me. I'll tell you that much. But he is playing more, and he is a guy where if they get into the red zone, he has to be a guy they're looking at, whether it's up the seams or whatever. So, I mean, it's just the definition of insanity, but I'm doing it. Yeah, I like it. I honestly, guys, like I came into this thinking like we're not going to have much value here. We're not going to have much to play, but I really like these props. I really like Blake Corum's rush attempts. I really like Alvin Kamara's receptions. I like the Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed receptions. I like Tyler Shough's pass attempts over Devon Vele anytime touchdown, whatever. I kind of like this. I think we've landed on some pretty good props here to hit and play this. So, all right, there you go. Quick little betting preview there, but I love it. I think we got some winners here, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let me know in the comments below what you're playing. GG's, by the way, I will not be streaming the game. So I've streamed every road game. I will not be streaming. It's my sister's birthday. So I'll be at her birthday party watching the game in the corner of the room on like one of those 10-inch square box TVs with the VCR still built into it. That's what I'm going to do. But I will be at my sister's birthday, so I will not be streaming this game. Get on down in the comments below. Happy birthday to the sister of the face of the franchise. What is that? S-O, sister of T, F-O-T-F? S-O-T-F-O-T-F? Let's see that in the comments below. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Let's win some bets out there, huh? See you in the next video.